Thank you for coming back, Steve. Yes, we know you have a great amount of work to do on your ranch. You did promise us, however, that you would stop and heed and listen to us when it is that we need to speak with you. Yes. And you have indeed wondered why the little bird which comes to peck at your window is a blue bird. And you have been asking for connection to the blue avian beings of the Sphere Collective. Ask and ye shall receive. Sit, listen, and ye shall receive. Watch TV, ye shall not receive. Do you still think that this is you? This is not you. You are here. We like to toy with you because we know that you are a maze. For those who are interested in listening in, there are other chairs which may be moved closer should that need be. And so we were with you last night as you were listening to a message, the first message that we've shared with our Juan Stephen and Verona and Susan. And when was this message? This message was several months ago.
End of March.
Oh, several months ago. 2 months ago. And why are you listening to an old message? Because you allowed us to join you and speak these words, and then you go and shovel your horse shit and you forget about this message. Listen to this message again, for we will not repeat what is in it. You have it now. You may listen to it. We are not much in the mood for funning around tonight. We would say to you, as we have said before, are you still straddling the fence? We understand that there are 4 of you in this room at this time. Everything that we speak of is addressed to all 4 of you. You are also much needed. You are all much needed. We have told you many things in our first communique of 2 months ago. We would ask and reiterate that you do these, that you go back, that you pick up and reread your contractual agreements and either choose to uphold them or to negate them. The choice is yours. We hope that you make the correct choice. We hope that you choose to make this correct choice soon upon your return to your home in the mountains. We were listening as we do from time to time. To your conversation earlier this afternoon, you seem to have a consensus of sorts that there is an increase in the energy of the negatives. And we will use your terms, Steve, and we will say to you that yes, indeed, when you back a wolf into a corner, you frighten the animal and you create a monster. The monster is now lashing out with all of the weapons that it has left at its disposal, which are not many, but they are enough to sway negatively a substantial amount of the human populace. We do not wish for this to happen. We would say to you that when you feel this negative energy encircling you, surrounding you, smothering you, affecting you, and that you have one great tool at your disposal. Go into your light-up deconstruct mode, and they will not be able to bother you. The universe of the multiverse is inhaling at this time. In other words, it is expanding. It is going through an expansion. It is a rapid expansion. A whole new group is being created. A group of souls. Young souls. There is some reiteration here of what was being said 2 months ago. You have those tapes. We do not need to waste time with them. This time we see that you have a proper recorder. This is good. You should keep it upon yourself at all times. When you see a little bird pecking at the window, and you think that it is a messenger, then we would ask that you take the next logical step from thinking that the little bird is a messenger to asking to receive the message. You see, you ask if it is possible to connect to what you are calling the blue avian sphere beings. And then you go and you do your jobs and you do not connect. And they will connect to you, for you are in service to others. It is for this reason that they will connect to you, for they have messages for you as well. That is neither here nor there. They will communicate to you when you return to your home in the mountains. At this time, we would ask that the other beings present should there have any questions, this will give us a venue to follow. So we are opening up to any questions. And you have your little microphone. We would ask that anybody who has a question speak into the little microphone, and we will try to answer the question.
Can you tell us about the purpose for the Jade Helm 12 group?
It is a PSYOPs operation. Do you understand what PSYOPs is?
Yes.
It's a psychological operation. This one, Steve, whose mind we share. So as we speak, so speaks Steve. And Steve's mind has already been polluted with preconceived notions because he has read things upon your internet. In the event of a worldwide financial debacle, or one nation striving to bring about its own currency to replace what you call the petrodollar. The United States dollar, fiat money, paper, so it's only paper, is worth nothing. Do you understand that in the stock market crash of the 1930s, money was so important to many of these people that when they realized that they had none left, they threw themselves out high-rise office buildings to splat upon the ground below. Is that a civilized and advanced way of living?
No.
Do you think that this could not happen again? We will tell you this could happen again. We would tell you that there are those, as you know, who value money so much above everything else, everything that is good and decent and kind and loving upon your planet, that they will be throwing themselves out of high-rise buildings to go splat upon the ground below. You know, you have buildings nowadays which are much, much taller than those of the 1930s. Big splats. We do not wish to entertain the macabre here in this conversation. However, we wish to use this visual to assist in your understanding of what this Jade Helm is about. There will be quite possibly a need for military control or intervention in the affairs of people whose almighty God is money. For when people realize that what they once had, they no longer have, and it happened in an instant, They will do desperate things. They will do stupid things. They will be desperate and stupid. And they will act in a manner which may be harmful to the health of others around them. It is in situations like this where military force may be required. Do you believe that as you read on the internet that they are going to round you all up and put you in concentration camps?
No, I didn't believe that.
If once again, we caution you which side of the fence you choose to be on. For if you believe that you are going to be rounded up and put into a concentration camp, the universe always gives you what you wish. Do not believe that. Regardless of what happens, keep your own energy clean, clear, and keep it your own energy. Do not allow the words, feelings, impressions of others to undermine your position on the fence, regardless of what it may be. Have we answered your question?
Yes, thank you.
Sandra, do you have something to add? This may be a funny question. In the area that I live in, and particularly around my home, because I love birds, and I have quite a variety in many ways, suddenly within the last probably 2 weeks, we would have to say, since I just returned to my home, the birds no longer are showing up, even though I have pretty good food out there. So I just would love some input about probably what that's about, what I need to learn from, since I count on them for so much in the way of loving energy.
Mm. One of the more admirable species upon your planet are the avians, the birds.
Yes, I miss them.
They navigate magnetically. The magnetic poles of your planet are shifting very, very rapidly. Your scientists look at things in terms of geologic time periods, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. They are still in their diapers. The magnetic frequency of the planet, the magnetic poles of the planet, the magnetic halo of the planet, it's shifting quite rapidly. It is affecting migratory patterns of birds. It is affecting static populations of birds. In other words, the birds that for so long hover around your property, your house. And there are other things that may be at play. We do not know, for we are not aware of the area in which you live. We would tell you that in areas of your cities and towns where the new electronic metering system of electricity, that what you call smart meters, the microwave and radio frequencies of these what you call smart meters are affecting the health of the avians. The birds do not like them. They do not come around them. We do not know if this is true within your area. Only you would know of that. Are there a great number of smart meters which have been installed?
Yes.
If there are, and you notice that there are less birds, then there is a reason, or one of the reasons. This one, Steve was talking to somebody recently who has noticed that in an area in the mountains where Steve and his Susan live, there is an area where people have always noticed over the years a great number of deer which come to graze in the fields. They have noticed that these deer no longer come to graze in the fields. What is the difference? Is there less grass in the fields? No, there is not. For there has been much rain. The grass is thick and lush and high. What is the difference? There has been a number of this new type of metering for your electrical power, that what you call smart meters, have been installed in this area. Are the deer sensitive to the microwave and radio frequencies of smart meters? Indeed. The deer do not like them either. They do not come around. They go to other areas now where these microwave and radio frequencies do not exist. At least not in the profusion which your society is planting them upon you. These are possible reasons for the birds not being as noticeable or as thick in the areas that you ask about. There is another possible reason as well. Indeed, you live in a state of New Mexico, a state which has a great number of government, secret military, secret government, negative being installations, some above, many underground. As you are aware, those of negative influence are having a great amount of pressure exerted upon them by those of positive influence. Therefore, they fight back like the cornered wolf. The devices which they have left at their disposal. Not many at all, for most of their nasty toys have been taken away from them. However, they still have a few tricks up their sleeve. The energies that are blasting this area of New Mexico in particular may also have a direct bearing on the lack of birds in your area.
Thank you. I do have a question in that, at least my approach to the nasty tricks is to work on expanding and developing my own higher frequencies, and to staying as much as is at the moment totally reasonable in a place of compassion, loving kindness, gratitude, joy, all of that. And really the question is that continuing, or will it eventually be able, because obviously we all here are oriented on learning how it is to move the planet and move our beings into the place of loving gratitude and compassion and joy. Are those the sort of the correct approaches energetically?
'Tis the only approach. We will amend that statement slightly. You can, through your thoughts, desires, and wishes, create grand and instantaneous change. But you need to operate quite similar to the way a radio signal operates. We will explain thusly. You have an antenna at a radio station. The antenna sends out waves of a certain bandwidth, a certain frequency. All around you have people with their radios dialing in into the number of that station, forgive us, and that frequency and that bandwidth. And then they are able to listen to whatever is broadcast by that station. Therefore, you have one antenna which broadcasts to many thousands and tens of thousands, indeed perhaps millions of radios. So you have all these receivers, and you have one broadcast antenna. Interesting how that works, is it not? We would say to you, and we have said this before when we were here the first time, and we have said this to a small group, this one Steve, Susan, and a friend named Grace, in the Pagosa Springs in the mountains. It would be a good thing to do to ask for a complete connection to the collective consciousness of the human race. And when you feel that indeed you have created that connection, then your next step would be to make a statement similar to this. It is my intention to operate as I'm not finding the word in the maze of this one's mind. It would be our intention to operate as an antenna for the collective consciousness of the human race. We would like to broadcast to all members of the collective consciousness of the human race, all 7 some odd billion of them, the frequencies of unconditional love, absolute harmony, absolute compassion, and absolute caring for each and every one of the collective consciousness units of humanity. In this way, you have then successfully created a radio station with you as the antenna, sending information on we will use the term subspace wavelength, to all of the ambulatory standing wave units, which you could also call human beings. Because you, as a human being, are an ambulatory standing wave unit. You are a unit of energy which creates a standing wave of energy. The physics are beyond this one, Steve, so we will not get into that at this time. We will only say that when you choose to act as we have the word now, representative for the collective consciousness of the human race. And if you receive in your mind's eye, or in your mind, that you are being allowed by the collective to operate as their representative, then you may beam to each and every one of these 7+ billion people the energies of love, conscious co-creation, harmonious bliss, compassion. Let's not forget forgiveness. When you send this energy out to all of these 7+ billion receivers, even if they don't all get it, a great amount of them will receive the signal. And even if it is not in their conscious cognizance of their personal being at that time, It will reach them on a subconscious level. And as you are learning, it is the subconscious in which creation is manifested. Initially manifested, formally finalized in the conscious creation. So this is how you will we do not like the word war, we do not like the word fight. We would say this is how you will be able to assist greatly in the negation of those of negative intent. There are two main types of earth-tearing human beings. Just like there are two main types of all races, whomever they may be, wherever they may be. These types are A, service to self, the problem with your planet. B, service to others, the solution for your planet. We are allowing this one, Steve, to speak now, for he has a couple of things to say, which he has seen in his perusal of your internet, and that is, and he has actually been told through this one. What is the name? Simon Parks, and also this other one, David Wilcox. These are the two beings of humanity who are trying to get the truth out there. And Michael Parks has stated in one of his interviews that, and this is Steve, by the way, that the reason that the extraterrestrials have not come down to save us from ourselves is because they see 99% of the population of this planet being ruled by 1%. In the eyes of those of intergalactic origin, this does not make sense. Therefore, they are making the assumption that the 99% are fine with what the 1% of negative influence have chosen for them. Now, so why should the intergalactics land and save you from yourselves? If you wish to let 1% of those of self-serving negative interests rule you. And put yourselves in their shoes, if they wear shoes. Would you go down to save this planet, or would you hightail it for better pastures? You know, you should be very lucky that many of the intergalactics have not hightailed it for other pastures. For your planet is the linchpin. Make no doubt about it. Your planet is the linchpin, the fulcrum for multiverse universal change. When you have the opportunity to listen to the first one, you have the tapes. You will notice that we state that the human race has the ability of all races, interestingly enough, to create singularity in the universe from the duality that exists at this time. It is a very difficult concept to explain, for you have lived in duality all of your many thousands of lifetimes, be it here or on other planets within this galaxy, or within this universe. You see, the Creator, Prime Creator, God, which is not a very good term. Indeed, the dogs are admirable, an admirable species. Reverse the spelling of their name. It does not make them a god. They are still dogs. Prime Creator. And what is Prime Creator? This one, El, and those who comprise us. For we are legion, we are not one. We are allowed to speak for Prime Creator. For we are Prime Creator. And you are Prime Creator. The universe is Prime Creator. The universe is alive. It inhales. It exhales. It inhales. It exhales. As it inhales, it expands. It does not breathe oxygen. Very few beings breathe oxygen. It is quite a toxic substance. Very caustic gas. The earth breathes in energy. Holds it, creates from the intake of energy, and then breathes out the dross, getting rid of all that which no longer serves the new creation. We go off on tangents because the mind of this one, Steve, is like a railroad yard with many tracks. We jest at him for he appreciates it. Have we answered the question that you originally had?
Beautifully and wonderfully. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. We ask one thing of you. We ask one thing of Steve. We ask one thing of Susan. We ask one thing of Verona. We ask that you intentionally take the time to become that radio antenna and send out to the multitude of receivers upon your planet, those of human form, that they pick up subconsciously and then themselves amplify this and continue sending it on. These energies of love, just love, compassion for others. We share a space right here, right now, with this one, Steve, and he is obstinate in some of these areas. He will attempt to amend his way of thinking.
May I say, I most deeply am honored to commit to that, but I do have a request, and that is for support and help in clarity so that the broadcast is of pure love, pure compassion, deep abiding gratitude and joy, and does not include the negativity that this being carries.
Would you like a little hint?
Sure.
If it makes you feel better and safer and more assured of sending out the correct vibrations, take one of the crystals which you have at your home. Take the clearest one with the best determination that you possess. Program this crystal. We assume that you do know how to program the crystals.
I'm sure I do, but I don't remember.
Well, this one, Steve, will give you a hint. Take the thought that you have in your mind. Hold that thought in your mind. State that thought either silently or out loud as you hold the crystal in your right hand. And you take the main face of the crystal and you put it near your lips. And you exhale your thought. You have in your thoughts, we wish to send X, Y, and Z out to the populace of humanity. And then you exhale your intent and your thoughts into the main facet of this crystal. That is one of the many ways to program a crystal. It works well for this one, Steve, so he gives you this example.
Thank you.
And then the crystal, you would then take your right hand and shield the crystal against yourself, that of yourself that you do not trust, that may come up. And then you use this wonderful being of light, crystal, to send out your thoughts of love and bliss and passion and gratitude, compassion, joy, all things that are good, to the multitude of the populace. They will not pick up anything negatively energetic from you.
Wonderful, thank you.
This is one way to do it. There are others, but this is the one way. And this one, and this one, Steve, because at certain times he professes to not think too much of the human race. We will work with him on this. It is because of that that he chooses not to ask to be a representative for the collective consciousness of humanity. A pure source, such as this one down here, would be a much better representative for the collective. This is one way that you may transmit to the collective. Now, we have the one Verona. She is only to do a couple of very, very simple things. We will share this with you, Verona, at this time. You have, I believe we have isolated the last time that Steve was here, certain antennas that you have in your home. That lamp with the metal shade.
Yes.
That art piece on your wall, which is most definitely an antenna.
Yes.
In fact, that would be ideal. Absolutely ideal. Absolutely, completely ideal. To use that as an antenna. Once you have stated that you would like to operate as a representative of the human race, should you choose to do this, of course. And for it is your choice. You may or you may not. Should you choose to make the choice and say yes, then you may use this antenna which you have on your wall, and you will reach far and wide. Much further and much wider than you may expect. We would ask Susan that you do this also. Put your horse and your goats and your chickens aside. Take your Stephen and sit him down. Take away his tools and make him quiet. We do not jest in this. You laugh, for you know what he is like. We are not jesting. We ask that he stop what he is doing and do more of the work. But the fact that he will not stop his projects makes him less attentive. Are there any other questions?
I have a request, Al, if it's okay to do this. Could you share with me how aspects, those of us who have incarnated this time as an aspect, how does, in rising the frequencies toward ascension, how does that affect where we're going with an aspect? If I'm an aspect of a part of my soul that's on board Tom's ship, do we stay a separate? Do we merge? Am I entitled to continue as Verona in the development as long as I wish to? What happens with this process? If that's okay to tell me.
Questions within questions.
You can handle it.
We can handle anything. Can you handle it?
Well, let's see.
The way that this one, Steve, understands soul is that which he has learned of Vedically. In other words, an East Indian way of looking at things. And also in the Hebrew way of looking at things. We would tell you that in the Kabbalah and in the ancient Sanskrit Vedic texts, that soul is identified as an oversoul. We may have spoken of this before, or not. So you take a jellyfish. You have what appears to be an umbrella form. And from it, all of these many, many tendrils of matter. They're all part of the same jellyfish. The bulbous part, or the part that looks like a helmet or the body, could be called the oversoul. And all of the many tendrils coming down from it, individual aspects of the oversoul. Now, while this is a good way of looking into the mind's eye and seeing how it kind of looks, there are other things involved. But once again, we get into the physics of matter, antimatter, non-matter, time.
Okay.
We get into some advanced physics. This one, Steve does not understand these advanced physics. Your Tom does. Your Tom actually is quite a master at this. However, for purposes of simplified form of education, we will say the jellyfish is a good way of looking at oversoul and individual aspects of soul. All of these individual aspects of soul, of oversoul, are all existing at the same time in different areas. In different areas of vibrational frequency, perhaps third dimension, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, up to the 12th, perhaps. You understand, we will not tell you how many dimensions there are. We will say that if you read something on your internet and somebody says he is speaking to you from the 22nd dimension, it's time for cookies and milk. Turn off the computer. You will learn more from your cookies and milk than you will from that particular person. There.
Okay.
We will allow Steve his Stevishness, since we are merged. We are looking at the rest of your question within a question, Verona. Your Tom has told you some things and has been silent at other times when you have asked. It is because of timing. The timing for the ultimate and finality of the answers which you seek is not quite yet at hand. Do you have to leave the physical form of Verona Thompson to merge fully with the other aspects of your oversoul? we would say to you no. We would say to you that there are different levels of merging with other aspects of the Oversoul. Many of those levels may be achieved while you are in the current incarnation of Verona Thompson. Some of these levels may not be achieved while you are in a current physical form of Verona Thompson. This is something that we will share with all present, including Steve, for while he is a mouthpiece, he does not have in his mind all of the cognizant knowledge that we are about to share. However, this is a practice that Steve does when he is wishing to connect to other aspects of his Oversoul. And we will allow Steve now to take the floor and tell you verbally exactly how he does it. And we would tell him that he is indeed connecting to other aspects of his Oversoul. For he's such a doubting Thomas. We wish to let him know that he is indeed connecting. And then this is the way in which he does it. However, first we would ask this delightful person he calls his partner, Susan. Such a delight. Susan, we look forward to speaking through you. Your mind is much more focused. Please, get on the fast track.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
I promise.
You don't have to promise. All you have to do is give Steve a drink of his coffee. I gotta tell you, this Al's having fun.
He is. He's delightful.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Not as good as the chocolate mousse. But not bad.
I made that for you, you know.
You know, last time that I was here, this is me speaking, and this is great because I'm still connected to Elle. And I hope the tape recorder is still working. It seems to be. And I'm not channeling XYZ or Fred Flintstone or anybody. This is me, and this is a multi-universal being in my mind. However, it does make communication a bit easier to keep my eyes closed so I'm not taking in visual things. Where were we?
Don't say anything.
I'm going to get on track.
I'll say this while we're taking a little break. Al's reiterating some stuff he told us a couple months ago. He really wants us to do this stuff. Becoming an antenna for all those people out there. He thinks it's very important and very powerful way of creating a whole new paradigm. Actually, my feeling is that it would be best done in a series of 3s, not daily, but 3 times every 3rd day.
I like that.
Yes,
What did I miss?
and that makes sense.
Clicks with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I'm a 333.
Clicks with you, clicks with me. This is what I'm getting.
3 times a day, every 3 days.
I would say,
Every 3rd day or 3 days?
I would say, connect to the collective consciousness of the planet. State your intent to desire to be a representative for this, is L here, by the way, for this collective consciousness of the planet, not of the planet, of the human race. Do this morning, noon, and night. On a day, any day, pick a day. It makes not a difference. And become that antenna to spread the frequencies of joy, bliss, love, creation. For it is through love that you create. Light is superfluous. Light is a word too often used and little understood. Light means information. That's all light is information. Love is creation. Love is creation.
Love is hard.
And only through love can you create. Prime creator is an energy, not an entity. Prime creator is a fully conscious, superconscious, supra-conscious entity. Supra-conscious entity. 3 times on a day, any day. And then for 2 days, continue your life. And on the next day, the 3rd day, say for example you start your Monday with the 3 times connecting to the collective consciousness of humanity, asking and receiving dispensation to become a representative, and then becoming that radio tower sending out the frequencies of love, creation. You know the words.
Yes.
And the feelings. And do that on a Monday. Do that 3 times on a Monday. And we would tell you the power of 3 is unimaginable in its scope. The power of 3. So that you do this on a Monday. And then you say, okay, well, we've done this on a Monday. We're going to do it 3 days again. 3 days from now. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday is the 3rd day. You do this 3 times on Thursday. Take a break Friday and Saturday. Sunday. Do this 3 times on Sunday. Don't go to church. Church is for those who are asleep. 3 times on Sunday. Become that radio antenna beaming out the energies of love, passion, compassion, creation. Creation of a positive reality. Sunday, 3 times. Then, where are you? You started on a Monday. You're back to, now you're on Sunday. Oh. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, 3 times. Become the antenna. Take a break Thursday and Friday. Here you are on Saturday. 3 times. Become the antenna. Send out to the populace the energies of love and all of the other words. We know the words. Oh, Saturday. 3 times. Take Sunday and Monday off. Tuesday. 3 times. No, we will continue for a moment until you see the regression. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 times. Wednesday and Thursday. Take off. Friday, 3 times. Oh, interesting. Friday, 3 times. Saturday and Sunday, take off. Here we are, back to Monday. Monday, where we started. 3 times. Now
Now we're going to get
please hold that thought, for this one gets off on his different tracks. Now he's aborting to Northern. Soon he will be Indiana Express. Or maybe Indiana Jones. See, this is Steve having fun with you at Elle's expense here, you know.
Yeah,
This sounds like Steve. Okay, we would now ask you to assist us in doing the math on this 3 times every 3rd day. How many times have we done this now? Have we done it 6? Have we done it 9? Pardon?
It may even be 12.
However, you can rest assured that it is a multiple of 3.
Yes, exactly. We're convinced.
We now know the power of 3.
Right?
Yes. Okay, so now no longer need to jest. Back to the Oversoul. You have this jellyfish. And this is how Steve does it when he is out in his little hut and he wants to connect. He does this and he states these things out loud. For he feels that in stating it out loud that it is more effective. Whether this is or whether this isn't is moot. This is how he does it. I ask for connection to my highest self. My intent to fully merge with my highest self. I now put a bubble of protection around myself, and I layer myself with a scintillating bubble of crystalline light. And I layer now that crystalline bubble with the golden light of the Christ. I now call upon the cosmic spectrum of color. I layer that crystalline gold-covered bubble of protection with the rainbow colors of the cosmic spectrum color. I now put around myself a mirrored coating facing outward. This is Steve speaking now. Ella's back there. It is my intention now, in this shielded form, merged with my highest self. Understand now, this is as an aside, that I am, I don't always repeat everything like what I just said. I'm just for the benefit of telling you how I do it, which may or may not work for any of you 3, giving you the background as well. I merged with highest self. I have embraced myself in a protective bubble. The reason for that is that I plan on traveling in consciousness for sure, and in as much physicality as I can muster in my limited state, through the 4th dimension. In the lower 4th dimension, there's a whole lot of nasty little things. You don't want them to be able to mess with you. So you need to shield yourself. I had done this a couple of times out in the hut and not shielded myself, and I have had some close calls with things which have actually snapped at me and tried to kill me. Realistically, really. So you got to be careful. Now in the higher 4th dimension levels, it's not quite as bad, but in the lower ones, there's demons. There's jinn. Susan can tell you about jinn later. There are reptiles. They exist in the 4th dimension, the Lizzies. They're not nice. The archons are multidimensional. They exist in lower 4th as well. They're not nice. Many of these things will try to stop you or kill you. All right, the closer we move to the fourth dimension, the more these things are going to be seen by us with our eyes open. We need to become more adept at shielding ourselves. I'm going into this background because we're going to find out. We are definitely going to find out that these are things we need to be aware of. Okay? Okay, so back to the progression. I state my intent, fully shielded, to travel through the fourth dimension at a high rate of speed. In other words, I want to get through the lower astral planes of the fourth dimension pretty fast. Not give anything a chance to bite me. Once I then start reaching the higher planes of existence within the fourth dimension, I then place my focus, and you don't have to repeat all of this stuff that I'm repeating. I'm just telling you what I do. I then place my focus on the void between the fourth and the fifth dimension, for there is a void there. Now I can hear all your wheels ticking. Well, when's he going to get around to this connecting different aspects of soul? Guess what? When you come to the void between fourth and fifth dimension, it is a vast expanse. It's not necessarily that thick in terms of point A through the void to point B. It's more like A, B, not A, B. I mean, it's not super thick. However, there is an expanse of distance there. And when you go into the void, you may or may not, but you probably will, notice little specks of light. And they may be in front of you, to the left, to the right, to the up or to the down. Once you enter the void, once you feel yourself squirt from this boundary and fourth dimension into the void, you will actually feel it almost like a little squirt. You may even see little points of light behind you. That's when you state your intent to connect to all of your other parts, all of your other aspects of your oversoul. When you make that statement to yourself and you are in the void with your eyes closed, you will then notice these other little specks of light moving towards you. Envision all of these specks of light as the tentacles of the jellyfish coming together. This is how you merge with the other aspects of your oversoul. This is, at this point in time in our evolutionary ladder, a consciousness-only merging. Before we can merge, Verona, this is Steve, and Elle is telling me what to say. Or maybe we'll let Elle say it. Indeed, before you are capable of physically merging with other aspects of your oversoul, you must have physically connected and encoded more strands of your DNA. There is no way around this, for this is the way that things work. And Steve does not want to lose you. And El does not want to lose you. Indeed, we really do not want to lose Verona in this process. However, you can do this process and you can connect other aspects of yourself. What El is saying here
Okay.
is
That I won't lose me, I take it.
that in consciousness, you won't lose you. You will see, when you're in the void, you will see different specks of light than I would see if I were in the void, or that Susan would, or that you would. They will all be different. For your aspects of Oversoul will be of your Oversoul. Mine will be of my Oversoul.
Will it be to my advantage to try and do that? Or should I be content? I'm okay right now. I just don't know what the process is supposed to be ultimately.
I wouldn't worry about ultimately.
Okay? Good.
I would say that we'll let El take center stage again. He can explain it much better than I can. This is what I've done, Verona.
Okay.
And then I have connected with other aspects of my Oversoul. And I have. But not physically, in consciousness only.
Has that been helpful?
Yeah, actually it has. Ultimately, I guess I need to work on it a little bit more, or allow it to happen a little bit more. For those who are always working on themselves are never getting anything done. Now my eyes are open, and Steve's there, but this is El.
Well, this is El.
It's those who are always working on themselves are never getting anything done.
Never what?
Getting anything done.
That's important to hear.
That's very important to hear.
That's very important to hear.
Ah, indeed. We close our eyes, we become El again. Back on track. We will repeat until you have etherically and physically connected your DNA, repaired, restructured, and revitalized your DNA. You cannot physically merge with other aspects of your Oversoul. You just can't do it. It's just the way things work.
That's fine.
However, it is through an expanded consciousness that the human Terran form will change the multiverse. Therefore, treat physicality as it is. Physicality is an opportunity for your soul to experience the joys of a good drunk.
Or a good moose.
The wonders of a good chocolate mousse. The hug of a loved one. The pain and agony of being human in an age where nothing makes sense anymore. The realization of the ability that as a soul having a human experience, your soul can influence your physical form in ways that will enhance your abilities to learn as a soul. And then when the human form wears out, for it will, they always do, it is a part of life, the soul has grown expanded, learned. And we will say this as an aside. Learn the most important thing. First, foremost, and never to forget. Do not go down the tunnel of light, for it is an archonic trap designed intentionally to enslave, torture into forgetfulness, and to recycle the soul back into human form on this prison planet Earth. This is not what you wish to do. You wish to go back to Source. Guess what? The interesting thing about going back into Source is a funny thing. Because you are Source. You're going back to yourself. My God, what a concept. You're going back to yourself. Think about that for a moment. You are standing in front of a mirror, looking into a mirror. You magically go through the mirror. Oh, you have gone back to yourself. Source. This you may.
So is it in the void that we find the gifted lessons of, I think, what our soul growth in the past, I don't know if it's really past, but certainly the gifted lessons of our soul's different experience in other lifetimes. Hooray for the void.
What you learn in the void when you connect in consciousness to other aspects of your oversoul, each aspect of that soul is either disincarnate or incarnate as a being somewhere.
Yes.
Somewhere. As such, each aspect of soul incarnate as a being somewhere is learning things that are appropriate to that physical form somewhere. Those aspects of the oversoul which are disincarnate at the time are taking a break and allowing themselves to assimilate and grow in the ethers, in the etheric. And the lessons to be learned there are yet different even from the lessons to be learned as a solid form, regardless of how many arms or legs that form may have. So yes, each aspect of your soul is learning a different lesson. And you may, with practice, and we would say very little practice, actually. It is easy. The way of the universe is simplicity. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Only people make things difficult.
You're sounding very human now.
We are here. We are Elle. We are Steve. We digress for a moment here. You must understand, since this is only the second time that this one, Elle and Steve, have been this together for this period of time, there is some difficulty by myself, Elle, by ourselves, Elle, in dealing with the somewhat undercurrent of irascibility that is Steve. Steve is a very interesting person and capable of many great things, but as his beloved partner says, he must lose his judgment. Enough of that. It is difficult for us. So we allow ourselves to fall back into jesting to deal with the somewhat difficulties of it, for this is not our natural state. However, We do enjoy applying the mazes of this mind, so we will continue for a bit. But anyway, as an aside, I just understand that there are difficulties. However, we deal with it. So, have we answered your question, Verona, of connecting with other aspects of Oversoul?
You have explained a lot more of it. I don't feel that I thoroughly understand it. However, I'm also picking up that it's not necessary for me to at this point in time. You have assured me that I will not lose me. I just don't want somebody taking me over and losing what I have worked to get. Lost in a crowd of whatever else I come up with. And physically, I gather that's not a problem. If when I'm ready to leave this body, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I guess I'll find out. That's not really my concern right now. I plan to stick around for a while.
This is good. Tom would be happy.
I'm fine to stay with him as long as I can.
We will get serious for a moment. This is for you, Verona, and only for you. When you feel that it is time for you to leave the physical Verona, it is your choice to call upon your Tom and ask him to escort your soul aspect safely back to your choice of either source or to merge fully with that aspect that is Saphira. You will be presented with a multitude of choices. Tom will be happy to be your escort, for that is also part of his purpose. And should you ask him, you will receive an answer. If that is what you choose to do, then you will have what you wish.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love you dearly.
We love you dearly.
You share on the Council of 12. Can you share with us what that council does? I would find that so interesting because I think not only, and this is what I'm just guessing, they deal with the maintenance of the universe or universes, and do they also deal with the formation of humans?
They do not deal with the formation of humans. They deal with many things, concepts which are beyond the human form at this time. They deal with maintaining structural integrities, physical and etheric, of cosmic energies, universal energies. They control in the mundane as well, the day-to-day, month-to-month activities, decisions made amongst the fleets. Our idea of a council is a bit different from the human idea of what a council is. Nothing may proceed until all members of the council are in accord. There is no strong arming of a particular member of the council by other members of the council. An accord is met based upon the common good for whatever decision needs to be made. If the decision is to strengthen a fourth dimensional reality, then the accord is met and it is done. There's none of this dissension that you have amongst the ranks of humans upon your planet, because Well, yes, there are positive and negative thought forms and entities in all races.
Is it composed of all races or not? Miss Mel?
It is composed of those races whom have been entrusted with certain things, with certain checks and balances. Understand? Checks and balances. You in your world, you elect leaders that are puppets with no checks and balances. We do not do this. It is not the way of the universe. Okay? It is not possible. When you have assimilated and integrated more fully your DNA, then you will be able to do things that you cannot even imagine, such as using a much larger percentage of your total mind power. We advise you to finish this movie, Lucy. We look into Steve's mind and we see. And we see the ending and we see the beginning. The beginning, do not be misled by the beginning. This is an incredible movie. And it will indeed answer many questions.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes. Yes, this one, Steve, and yes, it is. Many movies are being made on your planet at this time that have much truth in them.
Good, that's good to hear.
And when you see this movie, you will understand why humankind has only been allowed use of up to 1/10 of their total brain power. You will understand why. And as far as the term ascension, oft quoted, mostly misunderstood. You have your lights high up on your ceiling. Try to reach them until you start stitching together other segments of your DNA, and then you can float up to adjust them. You need to bring in a ladder.
Right.
You go up that ladder one step at a time. If you try to skip a step, oh my, you're going to fall off the ladder. It's going to hurt. It's going to take a considerable amount of time to get back up to the first step before you fell off. You don't want to waste all that time. That's moving backwards. This one Steve was told by his guides many years ago. He doesn't even know which guides told him this. We do. That the, at that time, current popular view of what Steve calls the New Agers was that we were going to ascend into the fifth dimension. Bink. Like that. Oh my God. What happened to the fourth? We've missed a step on the ladder. We've fallen down. We screwed up, Charlie Brown. This one, Steve, was told that we will have to enter the fourth dimension. You do not skip steps. Period. And that because of the likelihood of inimical intervention in the lower areas of the fourth dimension, those beings of humanity, those individual units of humanity who succeed in making this transference from third dimension to fourth dimension are going to really suffer quite a shock. They're going to be seeing jinn, they're going to be seeing reptiles, they're going to be seeing demons, they're going to be scared. Fear is the mind killer. Do not fear. You will be going through the fourth dimension, lower levels of the fourth dimension, at a fairly rapid pace.
That's good.
But you have to go through it. You cannot skip it. However, you will not be in the fourth dimensional existence for a long, long period of time, such as you have been in the third dimension. You will be going through it fairly rapidly. You will rest in the higher levels of fourth dimensional reality for a bit longer period.
I take it we'll know when we're there.
You will know when you're there. There will be no question. And then you will translate fully through the void into a fifth dimensional inhabitant. But this will not happen for a while, so don't hold your breath. Instead, practice shielding yourself physically in whatever fashion works the best for you, so that you will not be attacked or maimed by these entities of the astral realms, lower levels of fourth dimension. It's an interesting place. Watch your back. We do not say this to create fear. We say this to create knowledge, for in knowledge is power.
Because when we have been told by other beings that are supposed to be up there that we're already in the bottom of the fifth, obviously that's not true.
Yeah. You may believe that which you wish to believe. However, we would ask that you believe
That's true.
what is true.
I would believe it.
If you were in the bottom of the fifth dimension, you would not need that ladder to adjust your lights. You would not need a wheelbarrow to move your dirt. You would not need a tractor to pick up big rocks. You would all be like little Yodas, picking spaceships up out of the mud. Can you do this? Have you tried?
Yeah.
Did it work?
No.
Are you in the fifth dimension?
No.
Thank you.
We're not.
You
So interesting.
you must realize that the way the Archon, Reptilian, Cabal, Illuminati Alliance controls everything is through all religion. Your current New Age / metaphysical / spiritual, in quotes, religion is yet another very infiltrated method of control. You have all of these beings who are channeling X, Y, and Z. This one, Steve, doesn't even like channeling Fred Flintstone anymore. Because you do not know who you are connecting to. And we would tell you that of the many, many, many races that are physical, that are out there, there are a few that are very telepathic. There are some that are not. We would tell you that one of the most telepathic and advanced at deception races out there are reptilian and from Alpha Draconis. They have controlled your planet for thousands of years through mind control, electromagnetic frequency control, religion, falsity of information, playing on the trustingness of human beings and the gullibility. There are beings in the higher fourth dimension that you may call angels, ascended masters. What's in a word? I call myself El. Do I have a name? No. Do I have an energy signature? Yes. Can you pronounce my energy signature? No. El suffices. You have been controlled. The matrix is more far-reaching and expanded than you even have any idea of. You have all of your channelers. Do they know whom they are connected to? Some have a pretty fair idea. Some are even connected to beings of light, quote-unquote light, in the higher realms of the fourth dimension. This is fine. This is who Steve was connecting to before. They are easier to connect to. The veil is thinning between third and fourth dimensions. It has been thinning for a while. It is more difficult to connect to fifth, sixth, seventh, and higher dimensional beings because their vibrational frequency is so dissimilar to those of third, fourth dimension. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. We do not exist in the fourth dimension. We do not exist in the fifth dimension. How is it that Steve can connect to us? We are connecting. We are merging with Steve in a trans-dimensional, almost warping of space-time. Understand, this is Steve. I'm very present right now. This is Elle speaking. However, he's speaking about concepts that I, Steve, am having hard time understanding because I don't do math very well. It's almost as if Elle speaks to me, merges with me through a wormhole. I don't see, I'm Steve now, I don't see this wormhole. I'm not cognizantly aware of this wormhole. I am cognizantly aware that I have this being Elle who is in my mind as well.